One of my favorite instruments comes back into action.
We can use camel brushes also for this.
Wait, okay.
Okay.
And then after this, the magic. How to control the thickness. We go now with the misura towards the tooth. We start to remove whatever is excess. Not too much. I was reasonably okay. The other tip of the misura also has a 0.5 extension or a button. Can you see that extension?
Yeah.
You can, sorry, this is going to cure very quickly. You can take that extension also, take it inside towards the tooth and scribe it on the interface to make sure that you are 0.5 or not. Yeah? Once you have that,
Take it above the bevel.
first you will make a uniform thickness here. You will dab your composite and make sure it has, and then I will use my fissura again, and if I am going to create a good halo, I will cut back and remove all the dentine from the incisal. I am going to do an accentuated anatomy because these teeth had some accentuated translucency. Can you see that I've cut back?
Yes.
So I've cut back from there, and then I take my and I now start to create my primary anatomy. Can you see? Yes or no? I will try to remove whatever I feel is excess. And here in between, you need to create some depth for the enamel to go eventually. No, for the halo is a lighter dentine shade. And what you can do now, as I've created something here, if you want, like you saw even in my clinical cases, if you want, you can create some secondary anatomy also. Now what we do after we've done this is one more time, because we've changed the mass of dentine inside, we'll check one more time with the misura and see where we are. Again, we were a little bit in excess. So we have to go and we have to eliminate that excess so we don't see too much dentine on the top. So at the interface also you need to leave space for enamel. We said at least 0.5 millimeter, yeah? We go again, we create something. And once we've done this, at this point in time, We take one of these brushes. One is a flat end, one is a thin part of the brush. As I said, they come from different companies. And I will probably wet it with a pure bond, not with this. I'm doing this only because this is what we have right now, yeah? And once I wet it with a pure bond, let's say I've wet it here. Can you see my brush?
Yes, sir.
I go and see my, can you see my, now nothing is coming out and it's good to use. Do you get my point? Till all the bond excess was there, I didn't use it. Now I can go ahead and I will now ramp my dentine up as I showed you towards the enamel. You can go and we're good to cure. Is everybody okay so far? If you want at this point in time that you had some effects to add, let's say you wanted to have an accentuated halo, or you wanted to add some effects on the inside. I have got some white stain with myself just to show you. Can add a little bit of effect. If it's a much older gentleman, then in the incisal edges, I actually add a little bit of an amber effect or an orange stain, but in the dentine layer, like right now, not later on afterwards. So it has to come through inside the tooth, like there's been a lot of years of wear. If you put it outside, it looks like a tobacco stain. Once this has been done, we just go ahead and take some enamel. Okay, I will try to finish in 20 minutes and then we will all do it together very quick. You know what you can do is, to save some time, you can start to distribute some putty. Not a bad idea. You take some enamel, you place a big mass of enamel on top. Can you see? And then you take your spatula and you slowly start to push it in. Push and slightly pull, push and slightly pull. Push. And the beauty about these instruments, if you see carefully, is they're very, very flexible. Can you see?
So left.
Can you see? So that allows you to push and not for it to stick. If it is too rigid, it tends to stick. But see, have you seen?
Go up and left. थोड़ा ऊपर होके left or left. Yeah, that's fine.
Now can you see that when I'm using, you've hardly noticed that my instrument was sticking to the composite and coming out. Of course, I am very, very familiar with these composites also. It's the brand that I use the most. Take it onto the tooth and thin it down as an infinite bevel, as I said. There is some thing stuck in there which would have been on this white sheet. So now you can use any composite modeling resin or blah blah, bloom, I don't know, whatever they call it, but essentially a pure bond. And you can go ahead and you can in all directions try to play with the composite a little bit for the top enamel layer. And typically when I'm doing this build up, I always have Teflon on the adjacent teeth. And then you can try and eliminate the excess that you might have on the residual tooth a little bit. And what I now do at this point in time is I check what is the line angle of this tooth, somewhere around here, yes? Yeah? So my line angle will be somewhere around here, yeah? Yes? So I try to see the reflection of light and say, okay, how can I manipulate to create a similar line angle with my brush? This line angle is very much at the edge here. So these are not very anatomical teeth. So we need to make a line angle which is very much right here. So we're going to go ahead and make just a little bit of, but not too much. There's already some micro texture that's on the surface because of what I'm doing now. So you have all of that. And then what you can do is you can use your, this is a very flat surface, so I'm not copying this, I'm going to create some texture here. You can use your condenser and you can slowly go, and when you use your condenser, widen it at the bottom. You can even use this one here. And never create a straight line. There are no straight lines in nature. We polymerize and we cure everything. And what do we do next after we've cured this? Clear gel. Correct? Absolutely. Apply it all over. And you will see that what I've built up now, apart from a few nuances, is very, very close to my final result. Yeah, so there's not a lot that I have to remove, there's not a lot that I have to cut back, there's not a lot that I have to do eventually. And that's why building out and then cutting back too much just doesn't make any sense to me. Can I grab a tissue if you have? Just take that. My restored tooth looks more anatomical than the tooth that is in the model, yeah? But can you see that? Stock, no polishing, no finishing, just built up.
The primary anatomy you gave in dentine and the outside mamelon, does it correspond?
Sort of, yes. It should be more or less in accordance with each other. Now what we're going to do very quick is I'm going to show you. Can I have the handpiece, please? Okay, I have the handpiece here. I just need. Can you just give me? Okay. Can you just remove one of each? And can I have your pencil, please? Now what you have to understand and realize is that the line angles of this tooth are going to be kept like this. Then I create a line angle which will come here like that. And this, and then we're going to create something inside the tooth that I'm going to show you. Anything on this side of the line angles, on the outer side of the line angles, will be done with Soflex. Can you give me the coarse one? Okay, that's fine. Can you start? You can remove one of each. So we go ahead and we start to Chirag, can I get some spirit, please? Thank you. Okay. Remember one thing, whenever you use any polishing sequence, could be Softflex from one to another to 3, always rinse out the teeth, because if you use rubbers or soft flakes or anything from one grit to another grit, you have to realize and remember that they will leave some residue behind. So in order for you to get the maximum benefit, smells good. This is an instrument which I find very, very handy. It's like a scaler. I find it very, very handy to make sure there's no excess anywhere, especially after you do veneers, for example. And here also inside, you can go interproximally, clean all the extra composite that you might have. Very sharp and very nice. Can you see that composite coming off? So it works really well that way. I have just about done a couple of soft flakes on the interproximal, nothing much till now. I work a lot on my finishing and polishing, but today, pressed for time, we'll do what we can, but I will show you the whole sequence anyways. Sorry? Yeah, I started here on a medium disc because coarse I'm very scared to use. Medium is much safer. And superfine I will do in the end. But then what I do is now I will go and I will show you how to create macro and micro texture. I won't. Fine I've already used. Superfine I'll use only interproximally. And I might not even use it. Depends. Can we start it, please? Please notice something. Tapered fissure, rounded end burr. I am going to go a little bit between the teeth to try and exaggerate a little bit my texture. As I said to you, I will exaggerate the texture to show you. And then to create micro texture, short movements, horizontal, up and down, jerky motion. Jerk, 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 okay? Can you stop it, please? When you've created that, let's say I want to create a little bit exaggerated blah blah. Let's say I want to create a little exaggerated anatomy or micro texture. Chirag,
Yes, sir.
can you get me my burr kit, please? Uthe bhaiya, steel. If I want to create a little bit of an exaggerated anatomy, that's okay. I can sometimes use a very, very sharp tapered red diamond like this. Yeah, can you put it on, please? And I can use the tip of that and scribe like I did for that young kid, the boy with the lateral incisor. Okay, let's switch it off. I go ahead and I will use now the spirals. You have the yellow and the pink. Always cleaning in between every step. And somebody had asked me, how do I finish the palatal surface, right? How much do I really need to finish? Not much. Just use a red football diamond, little bit at the edge, and polish. Sorry? No, you have to polish. I mean, you polish with spirals, you polish with rubbers. I use rubbers normally on the palatal. But what I mean to say is that if you have made that demarcation line, if you have sealed appropriately, you will not have too much of flash. Like if you do a direct bonded without the index, without marking, you have a lot of flash at the back that you need to start chasing. Here you don't need to chase much, you just need to polish. Okay. And then we go ahead with the first set of spirals. Slow speed, up and down, gently go, blah, blah, blah. Again, slow jerky motion. Can you switch it off? And then switch it on again, please. And these spirals are quite magical actually. Afterwards, you don't need to really do too much. And you see, I didn't cut back too much from the labial side. I didn't remove anything. Yeah? I just created the anatomy and I'm polishing. That's it. Okay? And what you can do after this is use these are also normally impregnated. Start please. Generally, I like a little slower speed than this, what you're hearing. Around that much, 10 to 12,000 RPM. Okay, just take it off. Let's get off with that. And then I normally sometimes just take this. I haven't added any polishing paste yet. I can if I want right now. I could have done it with the last one also. I'm going to use it with a cotton buff. Stop. And trust me, you can get composite to polish like ceramic. Sorry? Yeah. think we're okay. I haven't touched much on the palatal, but I'm just going to show you what we've done here. We'll turn the lights on, move it around. Let's try and put it on 1 second, please. Just taking the dust off. Okay. What do we have here? Can you see that? Texture. Look at the gloss. Look at the polish. Just like a porcelain veneer. Yes or no?
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
At this level of polish, how susceptible is it to things like the
Put the lights on, please, all of them. So, plasma high gloss. Did you enjoy it, guys? Even if you say no, it's okay. Okay. So, all of you build a putty index. All of you cut the tooth. I see the tooth, you get started. We have time, no problem. Things which are irrelevant right now, like looking at products, etc., you can do later. I would like you to do what you can do with me. Have you moved it out? Have you given it to the other? Okay. Guys, are you all seeing it or you're not seeing it? Have you seen it? Move it, move it. You can show it to everybody. Yeah, just give me 2 minutes. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to everybody. Andrew? No. Yeah, 1 second. It should be here somewhere. Should be here.
What happened, sir?
I'm just checking the adapter. Burr ke saath to nahi hai. No, it shouldn't. It was with a very thin burr, if at all. Thin tapered burr. Let's see here. No, that thin burr. Ah, okay. There we go. Another thing, guys, that I can recommend and tell you, please do not use bonding agent with your fingers or anything. It causes very severe skin allergy. It's methacrylate based. Use gloves.
While using your gloves and rolling it, is it not your composite getting?
Yeah, that's why you have to always clean with spirit and then do it. So clean with spirit nicely, make sure it's clean and that's why I like black gloves, because you can see dirt.
It's clearer. Sir,
Can I see the model where it is?
Oh, आगे दिया मैंने.
can we return this, sir?
No, I just want to check it, how it works. हाँ, बोल.
After some time, when they're doing the work itself, do you want to distribute the certificate in between or? Because
बीच में कर देते हैं.
I think अभी कर देते हैं, sir.
अभी नहीं, थोड़ा देर करने दो काम.
एक एक करके कर लेंगे. एक एक करके आने दो.
We'll put the logo. Yeah.
Light jalao boss, light jalao, light क्यों नहीं है? Give them all the light that they can have, yeah. Why do they have to work in the dark?
And there are aesthetic courses, and there are aesthetic courses. And then there's this particular aesthetic course done by Dr. Juneja under the umbrella of Style Italiano, which I think all of us would agree is quite different from almost any other aesthetic course that we've been to, where they all
Could make a fool of myself.
quite so. Unfortunately, I couldn't have a beer with him yesterday. But the thing, very specifically, the thing was, all aesthetic courses have been saying, this is how you prep a tooth, this is how you layer something, and they've all just looked at the tooth. I would think the biggest difference this particular course made was he spent a lot of time yesterday talking about how you would look at a situation and the patient and decide what's really needed in the larger scheme of things, and then decide how to get to the mouth. And for that, I have to really appreciate you on behalf of all of us here. That was quite an eye-opener. And personally, 3 months ago when I enrolled for this trip, actually it was an excuse for a boys' trip with 3 of my friends. It so happens that my friends only came for the trip and didn't come here. And now they're regretting it. So anyway, on behalf of all of us here, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Absolute pleasure. You've been a great audience, and I'm really.
And for answering some of my irritating questions.
No, it's fine. I just want to say that I've said a lot. I just want to say thank you to all of you. I don't need this. You've been a wonderful audience. Normally what I have is in a couple of hours everybody goes to sleep, but everybody was awake here. I just want you to say 2 things. One, like I was saying to him, don't think you can't, you can. The first thing is have faith that you can make a difference. And I would be very happy to know if these 2 days are going to make a small little step in thinking that you can, and you already are going to make a difference from tomorrow. That's the whole objective. The second thing that I would like to say to you guys is that, you know, it is wonderful to learn, but don't unlearn. Because a lot of times we go off from the course and we say, oh, it was really nice. We never buy anything, we don't invest, we don't get to that level, because suddenly a lot of those bags that we were really excited about buying, carrying with us are gone. So when you go back, if you want to really say you can, make a list of priorities that you have. If Louis Vuitton bag was your wife's priority, then keep it that way. Don't change, because she'll be very upset. If it was a Gucci bag, I don't care. All I'm saying is, keep your priorities focused. All of you are great dentists. I'm sure that's why you're here. Thank you for really sparing your time. It means a lot to me. If you like something on the course, if you go on public media, anything on Facebook, if you can write a line to say if you liked it, would be great. Gives encouragement to the guys who are doing and traveling, and also might benefit other colleagues of yours who might want to do it later on. But yes, we can, and don't leave this team. I would suggest if you are going to invest and you have some money parked away, buy things tomorrow or day after, because in 3 months it's not going to make any difference in your life. You'll be back to your old ways. So thank you once again and wish you all the very best. You have my email address. If there's anything that I can do for you, it will be my pleasure and honor. So thank you once again. Captain Basim, thank you very much for making it happen, because he was the first one to write the email to me. And these young guys should be given a round of applause. It's a very young team, but I sincerely hope with all the information that they were telling me about the courses they're trying to do, that they have a very bright future, all three of them. So I wish you all the very, very best that I can.
Thank you.
I'm still waiting for my demo light on a discount to be given to me. Thank you once again.
First of all, I'd like to thank Ashwin sir for giving a token of appreciation to sir. And all three of us will be very thankful to sir for agreeing to come down. I think we were just trying, we were not sure whether you'll be able to come down, and then after that we were connected to Mr. Bashan and things went well. And yeah, definitely it was tough, but we all enjoyed doing it. And sir has been very supportive. I think all of you all got to learn well from sir. So I'm sure sir will come down soon again in a few years if everything goes well. So sir, we would like to present a small this.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
We'll start the certificate distribution as well in the meantime. So one by one we'll do that.